Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. That was a strange inflection I put on that, but we're going to ignore such things. I hear footsteps. Footsteps. Might just be sheep. I think it's just, yeah, that's sheep doing jumping jacks over there. And there's a creeper over there, but we're back. Far Lands or Bust. Episode 214. Grabbing Wolfie. And heading west to the Farlands, as we do. Let me dump that. Here, have some cobble. Build a house, sheep. You look like you need it. But yeah, we're back. Episode 214. Just did a check, and we are at $12,354 raised this season for Child's Play charity over at farlandsorbust.com. And I know the last few days, the last few weeks really, but in particular, the last few days, the Chip-In website, I know I mentioned this a few episodes ago, has been having some issues where it goes down, or the database, I think, goes down, because sometimes you're able to load the website, but it doesn't load the Chip-In widget. It says, event not found, and then I freak out, because I'm like, oh god, they deleted the event, but I'm keeping an eye on things. It's of utmost concern recently because this weekend, as I mentioned in the last episode, is PauseUnpause and Juicetra are doing the Canadians for Kids live stream. They're going to be live streaming. I have additional details. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd for 8 to 12 hours a day. Kind of like a Canadian flob-athon, except they will not be obviously playing Far Lands or Bust. They will be doing their own thing, but yeah, that's what they're planning on doing. They're planning on starting every day at about 12 noon Pacific time, which equates to about 8 p.m. GMT, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So put that into your calendars. It's going to be a cool event. Like I said, I am going to absolutely plan on showing up to talk to the guys, and I don't know what they're planning on playing or doing, being as they're going to be in the same location. I don't know if they're just going to be doing console gaming so that they can both play, or maybe they have multiple computers set up and I'll be able to maybe join. I don't know. I haven't discussed that much with them about it. It's very, very casual. Just raising some money. They're going to attempt to raise $7,500 for Child's Play charity, and that's going to go towards the Far Lands or Bust total. We could always use a nice little bump in the donations, especially now that our grand goal for Season 4 of Far Lands or Bust is $100,000, and even now we're at $12,354. Our original goal for the second season of Far Lands or Bust was $8,200, and we surpassed that. And after that year's flob-athon, or that season's flob-athon actually, we raised $11,739. So we've surpassed the grand total amount from the first Child's Play charity fundraiser for Far Lands or Bust. So I know it seems like a daunting task, $100,000 for Child's Play charity, but I think we're, with the help of people like Pause and Juice and all you guys, holding little events like this and keeping the steam rolling, I think we are going to do a lot of good for kids in hospitals around the world, and I'm looking forward to once again being overwhelmed by the support of the community and all that awesome stuff that comes with that. So yeah, I got get up this step. Having problems traversing the terrain. A lot of sheep. Of course, I would happen to come across a lot of sheep when I have exactly a stack of wool. But yeah, we're continuing anyway in Far Lands or Bust. Woof. What else is going on? We had a rocket launch last night. An unmanned rocket launch. I was tweeting and I posted both on, obviously, Twitter and Facebook. NASA launched with the Atlas V rocket, the TDRS-K satellite, which is a tracking and data relay satellite that they use for NASA missions. I don't know if sometimes you watch feeds of spacewalks on the International Space Station and stuff, but a lot of times there might be a blackout of radio communication, and that's simply because they pass in and out of different satellites' perspectives that get the data. Of course, it's also used for other satellites and other rocket launches and things like that, but just one of the many ways that they're expanding their coverage of for space flight operations. This is a NASA satellite, so it's used for NASA things. It's not like satellite television or anything commercial like that. So that was cool to watch live. Had some cool video of that and pictures and stuff. It was pretty much a clean countdown. There was a NASA tweet up, NASA social going on at the same time. I was paying attention to Twitter, and some people I've been following for quite a while were able to go to that, and they got a tour of the facilities as usual, and they got a tour of the new under construction display for Space Shuttle Atlantis at the visitor center. It's still under construction, and Atlantis is in there, but it's covered up for protection while there's construction going on, and that's going to be looking like another reason to go back to Kennedy Space Center, despite the fact that I've been there four times already. They've actually, as opposed to, say, the Smithsonian has Discovery on its wheels, just in a hangar. I'm not sure what California is going to do to Endeavour. I heard that they're going to display it vertically as if it's in its launch configuration. That would be crazy. I don't know if that's true or not. I still have yet to see what their plans are for that. But yeah, Kennedy Space Center with Atlantis actually has it up and on an angle, and they're going to have the bay doors open as if it's on orbit, and they're going to have, I guess, a simulated Canadarm with a satellite out of the bay and things like that to give a sense of perspective and scale. And you can walk all around it at its level and underneath it and stuff. So that's going to be something cool to head back to Kennedy Space Center for. Oh, I need wooden planks. Wooden planks. So yeah, another cool launch. Like I said, a website where you can check on upcoming launches and things, whether or not they be for NASA or the Russian Space Agency or European Space Agency or commercial flights. Is spaceflightnow.com is a cool place to check that out, and that's where I was watching the updates, and then I watched the NASA live feed. So cool beans, which are not warm but are cool. I don't know, going crazy. But yeah, that happened. I've gotten some questions for an update to the buzz cut. Obviously, we're at $12,300 now, but for our $10,000 goal, since we reached that before the end of 2012, I did the Jason Statham initiative and got the buzz cut, and people are wondering if I still have it, and I do. I'm finding it to be low maintenance in that I don't have to really care about doing my hair. One of the things I like, being as it's winter, is that I can put on a hat, a stocking cap, without it ruining what little hair I have up there, you know? So I can stay warm that way. It's pretty much required when you don't have any hair either, because it's noticeably cooler without a full head of hair. But one of the problems I've always had with hats, aside from the fact that they don't fit my giant Irish melon, is that the hat's stocking caps that generally stretch around your head always mess up my hair, and my hair was always weird in that if it got messed up, there was no fixing it. There was no amount of combing or brushing or wetting your fingers and trying to get it wet to get back into position. No, nothing would fix it. That's another reason I really never take naps, is if I were to lay down, rest my weary head, I would get a weird, spiky Dennis the Menace thing going on in my hair, and there's nothing aside from taking another shower and washing my hair again that would bring it back into order. So having a buzz cut really solves that problem. So yeah, I'm able to wear stocking caps, no problem, without much ado. But I am noticing it to be high maintenance in that I'm finding I need to trim it like every week, because there becomes a point where it gets just long enough where it's no longer a buzz cut and it just looks like I need a haircut, like it just looks sloppy and just slightly too long and a little bit uneven around the edges. And so I've actually cut it 3 more times since doing the Jason Statham initiative video the first time I got the buzz cut. So it's low maintenance, but high maintenance at the same time, which is all right. I haven't had to pay money to get my hair cut at a professional haircutting establishment since then either. Oh god, I thought that was like a skeleton. It's Wolfie. Haha. Mistaken identity. All right, let's go to sleep. And talking about hairdo's-ness. But yeah, I've had to cut it many times, and I still only have my beard trimmers to do it with, and I'm finding those to be a little bit inadequate. Maybe that's why it takes so long, and it's a little bit more of a chore to retrim and buzz cut my head. So I'm considering getting a proper set of hair clippers intended for hair. You know, they're larger, they're in width. The swath of of hair that gets cut is larger than a small, you know, one that's intended for facial hair. So it should. Whoa, that guy came out with a purpose. All right, nuts to him and his situation. All right. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, hi, Wolfie. All right, that was surprising. Should have made a boat, or made use of the boat I already have, but I'm swimming now. I do need to get... Oh, I'm drowning now. Do need to get that wood I was talking about before. So yeah, I'm looking at actual hair clipper thingamabobbers, but then again, I always... Whoa! Waterfall City over there. That's cool. I feel like I want to get a closer look. But first, I need some supplies. Oop. Yoink. And I'll just take some of these branches. Don't need the whole giant tree. Just a few little dabbles of dirt dabbles, if you will. So yeah, anyway, that is a buzz cut, a buzz cut update. I still have it. It's the same thing for those of, hey guys, for those of you who have, well, who have grown a beard. You know that there's a point where it goes beyond the 5 o'clock shadow, the trendy 5 o'clock shadow. There's a length where it just starts to look really scraggly, like you've forgotten to shave for a couple days or a couple weeks. And that's generally the point where most people, and even I myself in the past, have decided, alright, maybe I won't grow a beard. But if you could get past that point and onto like the full beard length, then you're alright. But there's a point where you look like a homeless person. And I feel like the same thing is happening with the buzz cut. There's a certain point after about a week where things grow unevenly and it just looks unkempt, and it just looks like I'm a vagabond, basically. So I've got to either decide to keep doing the buzz cut and perhaps get a proper, like I've been saying, a proper buzz cutting device. And before I got distracted, I think, by the creeper, I was going on to say that then I start to think about, well, do I really need another thing? Talking about all this getting rid of clutter and stuff. Do I need another thing in my house that serves a single purpose? Or could I just make do with what I have? So, the eternal struggle of the obsessive-compulsive trying to declutter person. So yeah, that's how the buzz cut goes. Thank you very much for the questions regarding that. Quite a few people are asking about that. Indeed. Oh, another thing. Our good friend Brian Lorgon111 is back. He was on a long trip over the holidays, November, December, and throughout the majority of this month, but he's back! So check him out at youtube.com/Lorgon111. He's doing a lot of stuff with his single-player world, other stuff like that. He's a good Let's Player, and it's really cool to hear all his... He has a lot of stories coming back from such a long trip. Long time being away. So it's cool that we have more of our Minecraft friends back from the holidays making regular content. He currently is without work because he quit his job. Much like somebody you know. I don't believe his plan is to continue doing YouTube full-time, but he said in his last video that he's entertaining... That looks like it might be a spawner. He's entertaining the idea. He's checked his finances, and he's alright for at least another month. Another month? That is a spawner. Sit. Good job. Oh, it's a skeleton spawner, and they still seem to be alive. Alright, I need to, first of all, mitigate that issue. Oh, this is actually a deep one. It's a deep one. I cannot access this chest. Why can I not access this chest? Do you need to access chests from the side, or...? Well, that's strange. Hello? Okay, I'll just break it then. What do we got? Oh! Whoa! Oh, it was a double chest. That's the first time I believe I've ever come across a double chest in a spawner. No, I don't want to... Alright, well, let's... I don't have any use for a chest. So let's get rid of some of the stuff that we don't want, like saddles, saplings, redstone. I did take iron and wheat that was in there. I don't need sand, thank you very much. Huh. But it's... What is going on? This is weird. Hey, guy. It's like split across the top. Yeah, spawners aren't supposed to have double chests. Huh, that's weird. So I wonder, is there like a third chest somewhere? We must find out, Wolfie. We must find out. I feel like... Wait, where was it? I feel like I should break the spawner. Just for safety. Wow, spawners take a long time to break in this version of the game. Beta 173 is what we're in. Beta 173. Even though I do still hear that one skeleton. Alright, I do not immediately see a third chest. I think that those two right there count as the two chests within the spawner. Not one under there, not one under there. And I don't see any additional just, you know, little bumps. Alright, well, that's a first. A kind of split double chest in a spawner. How about that, kids? How about that? Indeed. But yeah, wow, this episode feels like it's going quick. Let me answer some questions. From So Totally Metal Man. So Totally Metal. Rock and roll. Kurt, you said in an older episode that you like stand-up comedy. Have you heard of someone called Gabriel Iglesias, aka the Fluffy Comedian? I have indeed, and I have actually seen Fluffy Guy like 3 or 4 times live at various clubs of various size. He's since gotten quite popular. He has a lot of HBO specials and Comedy Central shows, and he actually has a YouTube channel as well where he does like YouTube-y type stuff, almost like the you know, clip show stuff where he looks at other YouTube videos and makes fun of them. I'm not a big fan of that, but his stand-up is very funny. I would recommend Gabriel Iglesias. It's a really, obviously fluffy. He's the big guy, but makes a lot of funny jokes. He's relatively clean as well, so if you're someone who doesn't particularly like the raunchy style of comedy, with language and gross stuff, I mean, he could get, some of his stuff could get kind of rowdy, but he's a funny guy. One of, on the tops. Like I said, I've seen him a good handful of times at least. So one of my favorites. So yes, Gabriel Iglesias. I think I also met him briefly after one of his earlier shows, way back in the day when he was starting out. If he was working at a place that started to serve him drinks, particularly tequila, he would get a little bit out of hand, and then he would end up, I being the kind of the introverted person, would not join him, but then he would end up after the show, oh, meet me at the hotel bar, or wherever it was, and I've heard many a story from people who joined him for such things as that, but I think he's calmed down since, because I know he's gotten a lot bigger in terms of his popularity. Oops, that did not work. Alright, well, I guess we'll try this. It's kind of weird. Boop, and a boop, and let's go to sleep. Once again, we have some interesting terrain coming up. And a fluffiness. Boop. That's an extra sturdy elevated hidey hole. It's got some extra supports. Indeed. But yeah, like the comedy. I haven't been to much comedy, live comedy, in a while. It's the places that I have gone to kind of changed a little bit, and a lot of the comedians I did enjoy watching got kind of big. Somebody else I've seen live, Pablo Francisco is another guy I've seen live. Oh, there was one guy. I don't hear much about him anymore. I forgot his name. One of the funny guys. He interacts. Well, it doesn't matter if I can't remember his name. You guys, I'm never gonna be able to let me know. But yeah, I used to see a lot of comedy. I've seen bigger comedians. I saw George Carlin. God, that had to be obviously over 10 years ago. Live, I saw Robin Williams. I've seen Bill Cosby. I've seen Sinbad. Not a big fan of Sinbad. I went with a friend. So yeah. Woo! Comedy. Comedy gold. Ooh. Hello. Whoa! Diving board. Woof. Yeah, Wolfie wants to go diving. That's all he does. Hup. What else? Somebody mentioned in the last, or commented rather, in the last episode that for all of episode 212, or 211, I was looking for a snow biome to build the Spawn Cabin Mark II. Couldn't find one. Ever since then, we've just had snow biome after snow biome after snow biome. A little bit annoying, but I think we did alright with that, where we built our little cabin replica. Another question. The epic stew. Is the stew epic or just mildly entertaining? The epic stew asks, are you a fan of Chicago area sports teams? Very, very apropos as to, isn't this weekend Super Bowl weekend? I don't know. I don't do sports. Are you a fan of any Chicago sports teams? If so, have you ever attended any games, events, blah, blah, blah? My family are big White Sox fans, and as a kid growing up, I went to a lot of White Sox games. I did attend games at the old Comiskey Park, and was very much around for when they tore that down and replaced it with the new Comiskey Park, now US Cellular Field. Now, who knows what it's going to be called, because Sprint has purchased US Cellular in our area, which is rather annoying because that's the phone company I'm with. And I like them because they are kind of a little bit more independent and they take care of their customers and they aren't really expensive. But now Sprint is taking over and they're like, oh, nothing's going to change about your plans. Except recently, Sprint also bought Nextel and recently hit Nextel customers with the fact that, oh, your plans are completely changing and your contracts are now null and void. So I have no real hope for the outcome of that. But regardless, we're talking about baseball. So yeah, I've been to White Sox games. Went to one, as a child, went to one Cubs game with a neighbor or something like that for whatever reason. Not a fan. But obviously, how that goes. I've been to Bulls games. Been to... I think I went to 1 or 2 Blackhawks games. This is a long time ago. Went to a lot more as a kid. You know, parents, uncles, and stuff would take you to games. Never been to a football game. I don't intend to ever go to a football game. It just does not seem... I mean, I'll sometimes... If nothing else is on, or if I'm at a party, or somebody... Yeah, if I'm at a party. Lol. If somebody else has it on, I'll, you know... It could be mildly interesting on the TV, but I do not see how that could translate to being there in person. So I have never been to a football game. Never planned to. What else have I been to? Obviously, like I said, I went to the NASCAR races quite a few times when they came to... They built the track in the Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet. I don't know if that's what you consider to be a sport. I do, so suck it. So, sort of, kind of, not really fervent, and not really so much that much anymore. Obviously, it was really cool when the White Sox won the World Series after having been so long, so that was a cool thing to see. I didn't go to any games that season or actually see it in person, but there's just the feeling in the air and the city and whatnot. Trying to think. I don't think there are that many other Chicago area sports teams. Well, I mean, there are. There's football, as in soccer teams and things like that. But no, definitely not within the last 5 or so years. I don't think I've really been to any sporting events of any description. So, thank you very much for that question. Indeed. Woo, hello. How are we doing? We have... Oh, I should see how many actual planks this gave me. Ah, not bad. That should last us a while. Woof. Woof it should. See? A giant, endless snow biome. Ooh. Snow biome and firestorm. Indeed. Oh, I guess speaking of which... For those of you who watch Good's channel, know that we've enabled fire spreading back on the Mindcrack server. So you might want to keep an eye on your favorite Mindcracker to see what the next few videos they have coming out from the server, because a lot of it is going to be either firefighting or minimizing damage that has already taken place, or general paranoia as to the state of our wood structures and flammable building projects. Just as a little tip. No spoilers. I personally haven't heard that much in particular, but you might want to just keep an eye on the videos coming out from the Mindcrack folks. As you know, I personally don't have much of a home base there to really worry about, so I'll have to get back on and find something to do on the server. If not, just take a survey of the damage. Who knows? Oh, what do we got in terms of questions or news? I have some astronomy questions and stuff. I think I'll hold those off. A lot of them I've already answered before, like what kind of telescope I own, telescopes, how to choose a telescope, beginner telescopes, what do you feel about commercial space flight, or what would be the things that you'd want to fly in space, blah, 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 blah. I feel like I should hold those for all the same episode, have like a theme episode. I don't know if you guys prefer that or not. Let me know in the comments below. Or just ask me other questions that I can answer, whether or not they follow a theme or not. Keep me at least mildly interesting for you guys as we continue our walk to the far lands. Oh, brother. One of the questions I get a lot, I didn't write down who asked this because it was quite a few people, but what would you do, kind of relating to a question I answered in the last episode about what new elements of the game would I like in this version of the game. But people have asked, oh, what if in a new version of the game, say in version 1.6 or 7 or something, or 2.0 even, they make an update to terrain generation and it brings the farlands back? Would I update? There would be a lot of ifs, or very many stipulations to that. The reason these farlands are so interesting, to me at least, is because they are an accident. It's just a product of the completely random terrain generation algorithms and bugs and floating point precision errors and things like that that cause these farlands. With all the updates they're currently making to the game, they're trying to fix all of the bugs, so I think it would be rather unlikely that in creating all these updates that they reintroduce a bug that they've already fixed, that being the farlands. I still believe the float point precision bug error is still in the game if you get out far enough, I think, because that's really not a bug, that's just a property of mathematics and programming language and bit depth of the information you have in each of these bits and bytes and boops and bleeps. So yeah, I don't know. It would be, even if it was an accidental inclusion, oh, the farlands are back, I still wouldn't feel like they are these farlands. And the only other idea would be that they purposefully have re-included the farlands on purpose, and then it's not the real farlands. It's not a bug. It's not a proper mystery. So yeah, I don't think so. There would have to be a lot of thought put into that, because also, along with the fact that we're in beta 1.7.3, that's part of the charm, I believe, of Farlands or Bust, that we're doing this completely and utterly vanilla, and it's kind of a flashback to all you guys who I know, I know you say you miss the old terrain generation, and we end up with a lot of cool features and mountains and those weird bridges and things that you just don't. Uh-oh, I'm getting a spinny icon, like Windows is thinking about something. Hello, are we here? Still recording. Okay, that was weird. We got that. Let me make a boat also just to have. All right. So yeah, thank you for that question, everybody. A lot of people asking that question, but I just, off the top of my head, it doesn't feel like it would be the right thing to do. I will tell you what the right thing to do is, though. It is to go to farlandsorbust.com and donate to Child's Play charity. Also, tune in this weekend to Juicetra's twitch.tv channel. That's twitch.tv/Juicetra, Juicetra. That is where the Canadians for Kids live stream with Pause and Juice is going to be, and I will also be trying my best on multiple days to pop in and say hello and give those guys a hand and keep the donations coming to Child's Play charity through Farlands or Bust. Great cause. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Farlands or Bust. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time.